So what does it actually take to become a true master in a technical field? It's more than just putting in the years. It's really about the complexity of the problems you're willing to tackle. Well, today we're going to dig into that exact idea by taking a look at a decade of high-stakes systems engineering through the career of Marcos Sampaio at IBM. We'll trace the key projects that really mark that journey from specialist to a true innovator. So what does a journey like that actually look like in the real world? How do you go from being the new person on the team to the one person everyone calls when things are on fire and the pressure is on? Let's break down that path. A good way to think about this is what I call the specialist's journey. It breaks down into 4 really clear stages. It all starts with building a solid foundation. Then it's about achieving real mastery over a complex system. From there, you use that mastery to drive innovation. And that, right there, is how you make a lasting impact. We're going to follow this exact path to see how it all comes together.
All right, let's kick things off right at the beginning. Section 1, forging a foundation. Because, look, every great career is built on a rock-solid base of skills and, just as important, a reputation for excellence.
And you can see that drive for excellence was there from the get-go. This quote from his final internship evaluation, this isn't just a pat on the back. It's a huge vote of confidence that took him straight from being an intern to a full-time role on a really important project. So that internship kicked off a career that would span nearly 12 years at IBM. And this was the time for digging in and building that deep expertise in the bedrock of enterprise computing. IBM's powerful AIX operating system and Power HA, which you can think of it as the system's bodyguard, making sure it never, ever goes down. This is the critical infrastructure that powers huge organizations. Okay, so from that foundation, we move into what you could call true mastery. And this part of the story really centers on a super high-stakes project with one of Brazil's highest courts, the Superior Tribunal de Justiça, or STJ. And this right here gives you a little taste of the challenge. We're talking about managing a complex, absolutely mission-critical environment. The job? To take complete ownership of the architecture, the performance, and, you guessed it, the high availability of these systems for a major government client. No pressure, right? Now, in an environment like that, even something as simple as planned maintenance can feel like defusing a bomb. The first big problem they had was this manual process for redirecting traffic whenever they had to do database updates. One wrong move, one tiny mistake, and boom, the whole system could go dark, even for a moment. And the solution here? It's just a beautiful piece of engineering. Instead of throwing more hardware at the problem, he created a set of custom scripts that tied directly into the existing high-availability software. It was like creating a hot-swappable stunt double for the main server. The moment the primary server needed to step out for maintenance, this automated script would instantly swing the stunt double into its place, and nobody in the audience would ever know the difference. And the result? Get this. 3 to 5 seconds. That's it. A completely seamless switchover with 0 lost connections for the users. The risk from that manual process was just gone. That single number just screams mastery. Okay, on to the next challenge. A massive data log jam. Every night, the database backups were taking over 5 hours to run, and they were just eating up the live server's resources. It was basically creating a massive traffic jam right when the court needed a clear highway. It got so bad, it was actually threatening to delay the start of court operations the next day. Imagine that. So the solution was kind of brilliant and totally counterintuitive. Instead of trying to speed things up on the live system, which is what most people would do, he used this tech called Metromir to create a perfect live clone of the data at a completely separate location. So now you have 2 identical sets of data. Then he just ran the super heavy backup process on the clone, leaving the main system completely free to do its job at full throttle. So clever. And the results were, well, definitive. This quote from an official STJ report says it all. They completely eliminated the performance hit. So this wasn't just a small fix. It was a complete game changer that made sure the court systems had all the power they needed, right when they needed it most. Okay, so he's clearly nailed the plan stuff. He's a master of scheduled maintenance. But what happens when there is no plan, when chaos hits? Now, this is where the story takes a really interesting turn. We get to see how all that expertise built working on client systems was turned inward to innovate and build resilience for IBM's own internal tools. So this question, this isn't just a theoretical exercise. This became a very sudden, very urgent reality when a hurricane started barreling towards a major IBM data center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, so picture this. A multi-day power shutdown is pretty much guaranteed, and a key monitoring tool that all the premium support teams rely on is about to go dark. The clock is absolutely ticking.
I mean, this quote from management really says it all, doesn't it? The solution was to think fast and, in a highly technical move, migrate the entire service from that physical server in Raleigh to a cloud server in Atlanta, completely avoiding the outage. An incredible accomplishment, pulled off under some serious pressure. You just have to hear this, straight from his manager's performance review. He basically architected and pulled off a full-scale migration, moving the entire system from a physical server in the path of the storm to a cloud server in Atlanta, all on the fly, with just hours to work with. The result? Absolutely zero impact on the support teams who depended on it. As his manager put it, quick thinking and incredible skills. That's what pressure-tested innovation looks like. All right, this brings us to our final section, and it's a big one. Beyond the 9 to 5. You know, what really separates a true master from someone who's just really good at their job, I think it comes down to this. A deep, genuine passion that doesn't just switch off at 5 o'clock. You see, this kind of problem solving, it's not just a job, it's a genuine passion. And there's no better way to see that than by looking at personal projects that push the technology way beyond what it was ever designed to do. Real expertise, the deep kind, is almost always fueled by a relentless curiosity. And these personal projects, hosted on GitHub, they show this incredible drive to understand and solve tough problems, even when nobody's paying you to do it. Okay, get this. Take this project, for instance. The insane challenge was to get the entire IBM AIX operating system, which is built for very specific, very powerful hardware, to run in a completely unsupported environment, an open-source emulator called QEMU running on a standard Linux laptop. And let me tell you, this was not easy. This required some deep, low-level detective work. We're talking fixing boot-up stalls, hunting down memory errors by actually recompiling core system tools from the original source code, and then, believe it or not, building a fully working 2-node high-availability cluster inside this completely emulated world. And that passion also leads to building practical tools that solve real-world headaches. This little tool is called CSMN, a remote Power HI cluster monitor. It was built from scratch to give system admins a clean, simple way to check on a cluster's health without needing to log in directly. It just makes the job easier. So when you pull all of these different threads together, the intense client work, the crisis mode innovation, the after-hours passion projects, a really clear picture of what comprehensive expertise looks like starts to form.
It's a journey that really spans the whole spectrum. From mastering mission-critical systems for huge clients to delivering rock-solid infrastructure when the pressure is on. And all of it is fueled by this deep, personal passion for the technology and for always, always growing.
Well, you get a track record of not just solving today's most complicated problems, but actively building the skills, the tools, and the mindset you need to take on whatever challenges are coming around the corner next.